Intex has been competing in the smartphone market for quite some time now. In an attempt to grab some market share, it has come up with the Aqua Lions X1 Plus, a budget smartphone with what Intex claims is a shatterproof display. We have had shatterproof phones in the past, but only a few were affordable. But is the display on the Intex Aqua Lions X1 Plus really shatterproof? And does it have the performance to match? We put it through the tests. The design of the Aqua Lion X1 Plus is quite generic, and there are very few things about it that stand out. It comes in 3 colors, and the glossy black unit we got for review was a fingerprint magnet. It has antenna bands at the back, but they are just design elements and are completely non-functional. The plastic back panel is removable and gives access to the removable battery, micro SD card slot, and the SIM slots. At the front, the smartphone has a 5.2-inch HD display with shatterproof glass on top. But is it really shatterproof? We'll get to that in a bit. Either way, Intex offers a one-time screen replacement warranty for 1 year. Under the display are non-backlit capacitive touch buttons, while the selfie camera along with the selfie flash are positioned on the top. Intex has positioned the micro USB port and the 3.5mm headphone jack on the top, leaving the bottom part blank. While the dimensions of the smartphone make it easy for one-handed use, the overall construction is plasticky and doesn't feel premium. Intex picked the MediaTek MT6737 to power the Aqua Lions X1 Plus. It is a quad-core processor clocked at 1.3 GHz. There's 3 GB of RAM and 32 GB of storage, out of which you get around 24 GB for use. Storage is expandable via the dedicated micro SD card slot up to 128 GB. Powering the phone is a removable 2800 mAh battery that does seem slightly lower than the current average of 3000 mAh. Intex is shipping the phone with stock Android Nougat with quite a few apps pre-installed that generate annoying notification spam. Thankfully, you can uninstall most of the bloatware. An added security measure is the fingerprint scanner on the back, which scans your fingerprint and unlocks the phone. It isn't as fast to wake the device up and unlock. The slower unlock animation doesn't help its case. The phone has support for 4G and VoLTE, but only one SIM can access the 4G network at a time. Connectivity options include FM radio as well. We found the performance of the smartphone to be average. Navigating through menus needs you to pause for a little for the screen to load. App loading times are a little longer as well. The 3 GB of RAM does come handy as it keeps apps in memory, saving you some wait time. Gaming on the phone isn't great, but it can handle light games. Play some heavy titles and you are greeted with longer load times and low frame rates. We played Clash Royale and Prime Peaks, which are light games that ran fine with occasional stutter. That said, the device ran cool and did not feel warm after a brief gaming session. Battery life is below average and the phone lasted only 7 hours and 42 minutes in our HD video loop test. It seems to handle basic usage well, but demanding apps drain the battery at a much higher rate. It should go on for 1 working day, but if you game quite often, you might need to keep the charger handy. The Intex Aqua Lions X1 Plus has a 13MP primary camera and a 5MP front camera with a selfie flash. We found the camera app to be bare basic and only had Beautify and Panorama mode to play with other than the usual toggles for flash and HDR. Auto scene detection option is switched off by default under the camera settings. Switching it back on added considerable lag in the viewfinder. Photos clicked from this smartphone are strictly average. In daylight, objects at a distance lack detail. Macros are better, but the device takes time to focus. Low light shots have aggressive noise reduction and images don't appear sharp. Selfies appear grainy on zooming in a little, but are good enough to be shared in low res on messaging apps. Now for the main event. We put the shatterproof claim to the test by dropping it from pocket height, ear height, and from arm level. The phone survived all our drop tests and the display was intact at the end of it. The ear height drop managed to dislodge the battery and the back cover, but once put back, the device worked normally. The body does have scuffs, but they are barely visible on the shiny back cover. With the Aqua Lion X1 Plus, Intex is offering a shatterproof display and a one-time screen replacement warranty. However, battery life isn't the best and phones with much powerful hardware are available at roughly the same price. If a shatterproof display is what you need, then the Lions X1 Plus makes some sense. But if you are looking for a value for money package, then the Redmi 4 is the one to pick. Thanks for watching. That was our review of the Intex Aqua Lions X1 Plus. For all things tech, log on to gadgets360.com.